Hey everyone, how's it going? This is Connor here at the Game House, and I'm here today because we have even more Deadlock leaks here to cover. Wow, it's been a hell of a last 24 hours with Deadlock, coming off of the obviously the Deathy stream where we got some kind of teased images of the new heroes. Well, now we have even more thanks to what I think is an original source from 4chan for a lot of these leaks. So, as always, I'm going to be showing some images that have been leaked to Reddit, the r Deadlock the Game subreddit, as where I've been getting a lot of this information. But yeah, we've got a lot of new stuff. So if you're trying to avoid leaks, click away from the video. I'm not sure why you would have clicked on it in the first place, but I want to go through some images that have been shared to the Deadlock the Game subreddit and talk about what we're seeing in this, because there is a lot to cover here. So I'm just going to try and dive into it as earnest as I can and cover all of these different images. We've got different shops, kind of previews. We've got this. We've got a breakdown that someone made of kind of everything, kind of going through what each thing looks like, what's new, what's not. Some really helpful stuff from the community already. So I thought we'd start here, though, because this is, again, from the looks of it, our first kind of key art frame, a character model, rather, of, I think, Vampire Bat is the name of this character. So, and then, obviously, we've got a lot else going on the screen. So let's talk about it one at a time. So Vampire Bat, first of all, interesting looking character. Kind of the, I don't want to be, wacky right away, but kind of the goth mommy vibe here. We've got an umbrella that looks like it has a dagger or sword at the end of it. Seems very cool. And then kind of this all black aesthetic, very interesting. Right down here, though, in this bottom corner, we have what definitely looks to be a complete overhaul of how items are going to work. So that was actually one of the OG leaks, well before the Deathy stream, was that there was going to be a complete changing of items. We're still seeing a lot of the same items, so I don't know that that's exactly true. But at the very least, we are getting a big change to items, maybe a way for there to be, additional flex slots, maybe is what these are. And then you're going to have columns, maybe for each of the item types. I'm not exactly sure. But either way, itemization and building are going to be different. And that comes, obviously, from the main part of the screen over here, and that is going to be the shop, which we're going to be able to dig into more, but I thought we'd go ahead and talk about what we're seeing here at a baseline level. So, first thing, obviously, items are moved around, and there's a lot of new things to cover there. But there's also different costs. We've got 500 cost items, still a lot of your classic entry-level ones, Resto Shot, Rapid Rounds, Close Quarters, Headshot Booster, High Velocity, Monster Rounds, Extended Magazine, all returning gun 500 cost items. But then you've got 1,600 cost items. So this is scaling up those 1250s a little bit. Also, a lot has moved around here. And I'll kind of wait to get into that more in earnest. You now got 3,200 cost items. And then you got 6,400 cost items. So also just a completely refreshed aesthetic. You have kind of this almost like old school Western. It kind of fits in more with the classic Art Deco style of the game, and just provides a really unique mechanic, or a really unique aesthetic, rather. One of the things I also know that people had been critical of in the past is making item icons look distinctly different from one another, and that feels like it's really achieved here in this update. Again, this is all presuming this leak is true. This seems pretty convincing as far as what I'm concerned. I've covered games for a long time, seen a lot of leaks. This one does seem pretty legitimate. But yeah, all that to say, a lot of the items are very distinctly different now. You're not going to mix up, Mystic Reach and Mystic Burst based on the icons anymore. For example, like Escalating Resilience looks a whole lot different than Intensifying Magazine, than Slowing Bullets, all of this. And we'll talk about that for a little bit. I mean, just some really unique little monikers here. I mean, you got the High Velocity with the kind of speedometer meter increasing there. Restorative Shot with the cool, like, DNA, classic healthcare healing symbol. Monster Rounds with kind of the insane monster mouth thing going on there. You've got Slowing Bullets with the turtle. Some new items, obviously, that we're going to get into more. Kinetic Dash with the bunny. Like, there's a lot of just really cool things here to be excited about. And this also, I mean, before we get into some of the other images, this should really put a lot of Deadlock players at ease because we haven't had a significant update in a while. And it's not that the game has been dying or anything like that. I think it's doing fine, and the balance is certainly in a good place. But this is going to inject a lot of excitement and a lot of newness into the game, which I think people are going to be excited about. So we'll click over here and we'll check this image out. This is the same shop we were just looking at. Worse quality though, but these are just those items we were kind of taking a look at earlier. Same screen. We've also, however, got a Vitality shop getting a rework. Exact same thing with the Vitality tab. And then your same thing with your Spirit items. Instead of looking at these are all, I'll include all the links to these, the posts. These three come from the same post. This is a unique post on the subreddit. And then a new user just recently, this is very zoomed in, made this post. And I think this is a great, I'll shout out this user in the description of the video, but this is a really nice way to break down what we're seeing right away. So I want to go ahead and talk about this. The leaked items breakdown. Thank you, Reddit user, for this. So we've got green boxes have a new item. The kind of dotted yellow box has a item changing tiers, and then it will tell you what the tier previously was in the thing. Like this, Intensifying Magazine used to be a tier 3, now a tier 2. And then if they have completely changed classes, new item categories are kind of this rainbow icon here. So I thought we'd take a look at it. I'm not sure what this moniker means. Be interested. Anyway, it also, this says 800, yeah? Did I just totally miss that? Did I have that wrong earlier? Okay, maybe I didn't see quite, but yeah, this does look like it could be 800 instead. And that would make sense. 8, 16, 32, 64. Okay, so not 500 cost, 800 cost. That's just a little bit scuffed of an image. That's interesting though, because yeah, that number looks quite a bit different than like this number, for example. You know what I mean? So that's a little interesting. But I mean, clearly though, there's another build of the game, like someone has high velocity rounds favorited in this screen, and same with long range, whereas they just don't have those items favorited here. So that could just be a part of it. In any case, we'll kind of go through it. All right, so these two star icons, I really wish I knew. Okay, items marked with this symbol have new names. Well, some changes are quite obvious. Basic magazine, extended magazine. It's important to note all of this from my personal information. Got it. Cool. And then, yeah, these 4 items do not appear. Pristine Emblem, Improved Burst, Withering Whip, and Enduring Spirit do not appear to be present in the leaked images. It is, however, possible that their names and tier got changed. Pristine Emblem to Opening Rounds, Withering Whip to Spirit Sap. That very easily could be the case. Okay. Let's hop right in, though, and take a look at it. So, yeah, Extended Magazine, High Velocity Rounds, new names. New items in the weapon 1600 tier. Assassin's Edge, Opening Rounds, Weakening Headshot, and Split Shot. Split Shot seems like it's active. I was going to say that could be like a prerequisite to Ricochet. That's interesting, though. You see Intensifying Magazine getting bumped down from tier 3 is interesting. Spirit Shredder Bullets, I guess, is Soul Shredder Bullets. Just kind of changed. Assassin's Edge will be interesting. We've seen between that and the Crushing Fists down here, a new 6400. I wonder if we're going to see more like Assassin builds, kind of these dive, engage, almost like glass cannon frontliners that are trying to get in and get out. Would be interesting to see. Opening rounds with the fist icon is interesting. I don't know if this is like, if you land a shot on someone before they hit you, you get a bonus, or opening could imply like opening a wound, like opening like a bleed is kind of like what this could indicate. Interesting to see though with the fist icon what that could mean. Like we said, with Split Shot, I don't know with that one if it's going to just chain your shots for a little bit. If it's active maybe for a certain amount of time, you get, like bouncing bullets or something like that. Not sure. And then Weakening Headshot seems like it's a debuff headshot item, which would be interesting because a lot of what we have right now is just headshot damage. A lot of what we're getting from headshot items. So it'd be interesting to see what a debuff version of a headshot item would look like. Let's hop down here to now these 3200, 6400s. Berserker gets bumped up a tier. And then a lot of new items here, a lot of changes in the 3200 section. You have an active called Blood Tribute. Sounds like that's going to be one where you sacrifice some health for some bullet damage or something. That would be very cool. Maybe even for like a, I don't know if you'd ever have a gun Geist build, but that could be really cool for Geist. Cultist Sacrifice is another new active here, 3200. Not sure where to go with this one. Similar to Blood Tribute, kind of these blood icons, curvy little dagger here. Will be interesting to see this one. Express Shot. This one I would think has to do with bullet velocity. Maybe fire rate could be a part of this as well. Is Burst Fire here? Yeah, Burst Fire's still there, so probably not. It would be distinctly different from Burst Fire. They're in the same tier. There's also just a lot of 3200s here. Kind of wild, TBH. Also, I always forget Alchemical Fire is a weapon item. I always feel like it's a spirit item. Anyway. Hollow Point is bumped up from tier 1 to a tier 3. Pretty interesting. We'll see if that continues to do the same thing, or kind of how they buff it. We got Spirit Rend here, which probably like maybe does like affects your spirit resistance with bullets hit, maybe? Question mark. And I like Weighted Shot. I'm very excited about Weighted Shots. This has got to be a tank buster item, you know, against kind of like if you've played League of Legends or TFT, like Giant Slayer, similar idea where it's damage to really bulky, you know, bulky targets do more, you know, effective damage. So maybe like if you're, you know, per 1,000 health, it gets a buff or something like that, maybe. Either way, very interesting. And then we've got our 6400s over here. Also just love the Ricochet key art. That's so cool looking, by the way. Anyway, a lot of these arts are really neat. I mean, I could talk about that in a video all on its own, but just really neat art style. They've done a great job with this. New items, though. Armor piercing rounds looks very interesting. Just probably more of an extension of like weighted shots, just ways to shred through armor late game. Capacitor. Maybe this is a juiced version of like a Tesla bullets kind of a thing. You have the same electricity icon as you're seeing here. So maybe it builds into Capacitor, give you an active, like, crazy jolt of bullet spread, you know? Could be interesting. This one's going to be talked about a lot, though. A 6400 melee item. Whoa. If you're an Abrams main or any other punchy character, that seems like it could be absolutely crazy for you right now at 6400. So super interested to see what this is as a new item. And then you got Spellslinger, moved from tier 3 up. And yeah, I thought this was also, yeah, it also has a different name. It's just Spellslinger Headshots. Is that what this was called? I think, yeah. I play Deadlock every day, and I should know all the item names, but regardless. That is our new weapons stuffs. So let's hop down now and look at Vitality items. Okay. And this is also, by the way, this is my first time looking at any of this. So if I'm missing things, it's honestly because I'm trying to take this all in just like you all are. This is crazy exciting for me. As like I said, I have, I don't know what my total Deadlock hours are, but it's pretty, it's 300 hours plus at least. A game I'm so excited about, so this is just crazy to take in all this, honestly. I'm so stoked. Anyway, let's look at this. Mystic Pharmaceutical Stories here, voted #1 pharmacy for families and beasts. Amazing. We got Rebuttal as a new item, 800, starting off here. Nothing else crazy new. I don't feel like there are as many items here as I feel like there used to be. I could be wrong, though. But a lot of the old classic ones staying around. I feel like they maybe liked where they were at with Vitality items, so that's kind of cool to see. Rebuttal looks like it is some kind of, like, resistance to punch. Or, like, maybe it makes your parry really good. Like, maybe it makes your parry do damage back. Oh, that would be so cool. Just a parry counter to all the punchy builds that are coming our way, surely. Alright, then we had some new names for 1600 items, rather. Spirit Shielding, Weapon Shielding, and Battle Vest. I guess those take out the Spirit Armor and Weapon Armor that are pretty normal. Battle Vest, I should have looked at what this could be. Just like some kind of bullet resist. I need to look at what the OG item of this is. Apologies. In any case, though, a lot of the classics. Guardian Ward is a new one. Not sure what that would do, but would have to think some kind of active, kind of like, I was going to compare it to Divine Barrier, which I'm also not seeing? Question mark? Is it gone? Is it moved? We'll figure it out, but it could be something like that. You know, an active mid-tier green item seems like it would do something like that. Let's look, though, and see if it just shows up later. A lot of... Oh, my God. Okay, this is crazy. I'm just losing my mind, actually. Okay, let's take a look at this. So, 3200, you have Counterspell. It seems like a really cool way to counteract some spirit builds, maybe. Bullet Resistance, Resilience. New named item. I guess this is the same thing as Spirit Resilience here, which, you know, they didn't put the moniker on both, no big deal. But, you know, just the upgraded versions of these shielding items, I would guess, is what these are, question mark. Fury Trance sounds crazy cool. Maybe, like, something to goad or taunt enemies into attacking you? Maybe? Could be cool. Not sure. I love the icon for Majestic Leap. That's so sick. What the heck? Okay. Really cool. Stamina Mastery is your upgrade from your stamina item. Super cool. Makes sense. Trophy Collector. What the hell? Maybe something for unique kills? Like it maybe it's a jungling item, you know, like, you know, a benefit for every jungle you clear. Maybe like clearing mid-boss gives you something significant. Not sure. Yeah, there's no items that really purely interact with jungling right now, like there is in League and other games where your jungler is buying certain items. So maybe Trophy Collector, something with that. Who knows? Purely speculative. I don't know anything. All right, Veil Walker, tier 4 down to a tier 3 and new category. I can't remember where Veil Walker was previously. I should have had I should have the current Deadlock game up. That would be so helpful. Too late now. Who needs it? Anyway, Warpstone, major change, coming over from being Warpstone is weapon, yeah. Coming over now into the Vitality section in a tier 3. Super, super interesting. Okay. And then just a ton of options. I mean, I guess there's the same amount of both. It's what, 12 options there, 14 options here at max. Crazy. Let's take a look. Cheat Death. Crazy. Okay. Maybe like a... Oh, what's it? Oh, it's like the Zhonya's Hourglass from League. So when you can like... It's not active though, so you wouldn't be able to proc it. Maybe like one, almost like a Focus Band in Pokemon or Focus Sash, where if you get down to... It has a chance, like if you die... Maybe it's on a cooldown where you can prevent that death. I don't know. That would be a crazy one, though. I feel like people could love and hate that. Here's Divine Barrier. There it is. Okay. Now, I can't tell if it's active or not. Well, I don't think it is. Maybe it's not. I don't know. It was a tier 2. Is now tier 4. Kevlar is now a green item. I kind of love that. It's, you know, I think that's more maybe in line with what it is supposed to do. It's supposed to keep you alive during your ult, not necessarily buff the damage from the ult, so that can make sense. You've got Healing Tempo here. I love the drum with healing. So cool. So this is like this is really interesting because we don't have anything expensive right now for... Excuse me, I just slapped my mic. Oh my goodness. Apologies there. We don't have anything major for healers right now in the later stages of the game. So, super interesting to see Healing Tempo come up. Yeah, so we might have some dedicated support kind of styles coming in. I mean, this is that larger question of, is Deadlock going to have roles ever? I imagine it'll be like League, where it's a soft role system, where, you know, you can play a champ or a hero a lot of different ways, depending on the meta and how you kit them out and all that kind of stuff. So I could see that being the case for Deadlock as well. We'll see, though. Infuser getting bumped up and a category change. So obviously was a 500 spirit item. Now is a 6,400 vitality active. That's going to be crazy to think what that is. surprised they kept the same name. It feels like it's a total overhaul, so surprised they didn't just rebrand the item. But anyway, what else we got here? We got so much. Good lord, Juggernaut. Looks like that's just gonna make you a beefy boy. Maybe with close range damage, showing the bull busting in here, so maybe that. I can't see what this says. Maybe maxed armor? I can't tell. Witch mail? Maybe these are like final forms of the spirit resilience and bullet resilience, like bullet and spirit. Maybe? I don't know, though. Could just be totally off on that one, though. Either way, super interesting to see these two. Spellbreaker's another one. I would guess this is a upgrade of... Oh, counterspell? Yeah? Like just a way to totally mitigate some incoming spirit stuff here and there. Vampiric Burst also moves over from weapon. Stays the same tier, but is now green. So a ton of new stuff for Vitality builders. Very, very, very interesting. Overall, though, it looks like the direction is a lot more hard counter. So there's going to be a little bit more maybe rock, paper, scissors mechanics coming in. You know, similar to like what we have for Metal Skin against gun builds. It looks like there's going to be a lot of versions of that against Spirit, which is probably good because it seems like Spirit's kind of just taken over in a lot of ways. There's not a lot of pure gun building anymore, it feels like. So, may not be the case for much longer, though. A lot of Spirit shutdown, it looks like here. So we'll see. But let's move on now to, speaking of Spirit, the Spirit section here of this remake, of this shop remake. Curiosity Catalog number 777. Love that. Okay. Overall, though, not as much craziness here. Just a lot of new items at the top tier, so we'll get to those. But we have a Mystic expansion coming, and maybe this is a version of... What would this be, like Mystic Reach or something? Or... yeah, because Mystic Reach is not here anymore, but it's... Yeah, it's imbued. That's just Mystic Reach. Never mind. Mystic Regeneration. Okay, so now we have like a restorative shot version for Spirit. That's pretty cool. Rusted Barrel is an active, new active. So this kind of replaces where Infuser was. Maybe that's all it'll be. Maybe it's a way to buff gun builds with a little Spirit item. Very interesting. Also love the icon art here for Spirit Strike. Love that. Very cool. All right. Tier 2. Improved Spirit and Arcane Surge, both getting bumped down, where they used to be Tier 3. Compress Cooldown is Improved Cooldown renamed. And then you have Spirit Sap, which I do like the note down here. I think that this could very easily just be Withering Whip. Who knows, though? In any case, though, some kind of way to kind of tap someone with something with Spirit. I love the Slowing Hex. God, some of these icons, I just keep oohing and awing over them. They look so good. Such a good fix. Well done, Valve. Really, really well done. Okay. Study guides for Celestial Alchemy, Forbidden Linguistics, and more. So much quirky personality in this game. A little page turn, just like little things are so nice here. So fun. Like, I just love these little catalog pages. Like 72, 73, 71, 70. I don't know. So fun. Z2, I guess maybe is what that is, actually. Never mind. Anyway, let's get into 3200. We got Decay moving up to being one of these now. Very interesting. Disarming Hex is a new active. Okay, so like another kind of nerf debuff item, or, you know, yeah, debuff item. Greater Expansion, so I guess it's just more Mystic Reach kind of stuff. Improved Reach, I guess. Recharge Knockdown. Silence Wave is a new one. I guess, well, what is that originally? I forget. My brain's starting to shut down because this is just so much new information, so I apologize for the donkey brainness here. Not sure what Silence Wave is a change from, though. I mean, Silencer is what I would think, but yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, Tank Buster here. Some more anti-tank, more targeted items. So again, this is something that we saw a version of this in the weapon category as well. But yeah, just more ways to shut down very specific things that you're running into in games, which is a kind of a shift from the current framework of Deadlock items that are just like, make your spirit better, make them reach farther, make your guns bounce, you know, all that kind of stuff, right? This is way more targeted sounding, which is cool. But really, the big news in Spirit is all of these new items. There's 2, 4, 6, 7 new top-tier Spirit items they're introducing with this, it looks like. Let's look at it. Arctic Blast. Okay, do we lose Cold Front? Oh, no, it's there. That's got to build into this, though, yeah? You would think. So this is just like a Giga Cold Front, maybe? It's a blast, though, and it looks like a beam, so maybe it is like a forward, like a... This turns into like a little AoE to like a beam, maybe? Could be crazy, not sure. Maybe probably has a slowing effect, all that. Maybe it makes you a little tankier. Got the polar bear there, maybe, or it just could be aesthetic. Blight Field. Sounds crazy. Sounds like an AoE thing. A lot of active items with Spirit, by the way. Tons of active stuff in general. So yeah, Blight Field sounds like an ability that spreads out. Maybe does something like what Affliction does, Pocket's ult. Maybe it's like a decay over time in an AoE area. Probably a little bit more, probably not quite as good as Pocket's ult, I would think. It's kind of crazy if they're just giving away Pocket ult for 6,400, but who knows? Could be totally off. All right, we have Focus Lens next. This one, I talked about like Pokemon items like Focus Sash, Focus Band earlier, these things that like keep you up at 1 health. I don't think that's what this is, despite the name, but Focus Lens. Maybe it's something about... I was gonna say like accuracy, but there's really no accuracy in Spirit stuff in this game. I'm not sure on this one. I truly don't know. Mental Dump. Also, I'm just gonna say this now. If you have any thoughts on any of this, let me know in the comments. I mean, there's some good Reddit threads to foster the discussion as well, but I'd personally just be curious to see what people are thinking. We got Lightning Scroll 2 here. Just another new Spirit. This one's a non-active one, though. So maybe this is just something kind of like Tesla Bullets that's going to help your Spirit damage proc and spread. Not sure. Maybe it stuns. You know, like lightning things typically stun people. Not sure what else on that one. Mercurial Magnum. That sounds sick. It's an imbued item. Looks like it's going to do something with maybe like a... You're imbuing an ability. Maybe it's like when you use the ability, your next shot does something. It looks cool. It sounds cool, as do all of these, but man, no idea on that one. Spirit Burn probably is what it sounds like. It's going to cause a little burn, a little maybe anti-heal on Spirit abilities. Think of like what Toxic Bullets might do right now, but obviously a bit more juiced and in the Spirit realm. And then we have Vortex. Does that say wet? There's no way. Vortex. I gotta. Can I get Vortex Web? Vortex Web. Okay. Sorry. Image quality. Pain. Vortex Web. The zoom. Okay. Vortex Web. Probably something to trap people, like a Vindicta snare, but crazier, maybe? Who knows? But yeah, it isn't active. I mean, golly, 1, 2, 3, 4 new active 6,400 Spirit items is so bonkers. But, I mean, that's bonkers is kind of just the theme of this whole thing, y'all. This is crazy. This is such a massive overhaul for Deadlock, and just such a paradigm-shifting thing for the game. Something that, you know, if we're going to get a delayed release for this game, this is the kind of thing that helps me to understand why. But I think the next question, as we kind of close out the video here, is what does this mean for the coming weeks and months of Deadlock? Should players expect a patch? All that good stuff. I'm going to have to go with the masses here. I usually don't love just taking the hive mind perspective, but I really do think this has to mean that an open beta is coming very soon. Or not, maybe not an open beta. I'll backtrack immediately. At least a significant, you know, kind of game resetting patch. You know, I feel like the last one in February. So, I mean, here's where we're at, right? We had January, we had the new heroes. That was great. Kind of their first foray into, can we add, you know, 4 or 5 new heroes? I guess it was 4. And keep balance in the game, right? They've checked that box now. Game's in a pretty good balance state right now. No 1 or 2 heroes are just crushing it, right? Then you go down from 4 lanes to 3. Good shift, made sense. kind of gets away from so much split fighting, encourages team fights, which is kind of something you have to have in a MOBA as a team fight system or encouragement system baked into the map, into the game. So we've checked that box. The one thing we haven't really touched in these massive experimental kind of waves that have come through is the shop. And so it makes sense that this is the thing that is getting significantly overhauled. But honestly, when you incorporate what we saw on the Deathy stream, with the, I think it was at least 7 new heroes, redesigns, this indicates that Deadlock is really honing in on what it thinks it wants to be, I think. So, to answer the question, what should I expect as a Deadlock player in the next few weeks? I would expect a patch. I mean, if Valve has these leaks come out and doesn't respond quickly, I think it's a foolish move. I think we will see something pretty quick because players are going to be chomping at the bit to try this. Deadlock's numbers, I mean, every time I hop on and I see the kind of the number of matches happening slowly sinking lower and lower, I just get a little sad. And so I think this would be a great interest injector into the game. This could be a time to go open beta. You'd certainly get a lot of testing for this new stuff, but I could see them also releasing this, getting all the kinks ironed out with the current player base and the invite-only system, but then after that, looking to move to an open beta. Honestly, it's funny that this coincides with the GTA 6 release date getting pushed back. I don't think they're correlated. I don't think that one caused the other. But I know that I've heard, at least in the gaming world, that developers have been holding off, on some of their releases until they found out about GTA 6, because it's going to be that big of a release in the gaming community. There's a chance that Valve are, reacting to that, which would be, it's a little far-fetched, but would be kind of crazy. In any case, though, massive news for Deadlock fans. I just want to at least say that as someone who really believes in this game and the direction it is going in, the potential it has to be a disruptor in the gaming and esports space. This is such exciting news for me. I hope it's exciting news for you all. That's going to be it. I'm going to quit yapping. I just want to, golly, I could yap about this for hours. So at the end of the day, though, thank you all for tuning into this video. We're going to be covering Deadlock a lot more on this channel, the Gamehouse YouTube channel here. We cover all things gaming and esports and sports on our website, so thegamehouse.com. I post my weekly, I do weekly recaps for Deadlock Fight Night. Again, I'm someone who loves this game, is a big believer in it, and plans to continue covering it. So we've got some other content, Deadlock content specifically, on the website and on the YouTube channel, but more will be coming. So thank you all so much for tuning in. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on this video and kind of my analysis of it. And from our house to yours, we'll see you all next time for more Deadlock news and updates. We'll see you then.